Hey guys, what's going on? Jonathan McCullum here, and I'm going to be reacting to CinemaWins Everything Great about Star Wars Episodes 1 through 6. But I'm going to be doing it on my 3DS. Yeah, because if I do it on YouTube, the only time I'll go on YouTube is to go and put it in go and edit and then basically add in the next duplicate. Oh, sorry, Godzilla fan. Apparently somebody doesn't like me constantly doing videos. Oh yeah, I have this demo Captain Toad treasure tracker. No lie guys, see? I had just gotten a notification and got it. Listen, this is how YouTube sounds. The reason why I'm not signing in on here on my 3DS is because then I would have to delete the app and then not sign in. Biology plant and bachelor here. Hey guys, what's up? CinemaWins. This is what I'm gonna be reacting to, part one. This is part one. Then there's part. Oh, he's already made a playlist. Good, that means that. Now I have already seen part one, but you know what? I haven't. And all credit goes to CinemaWins for these videos I'm gonna be reacting to.
All right, first movie in the Star Wars series. This is the place to start, right? Episode 1. Hope this spurs years of love for this saga.
Actually, I don't want the subtitles on.
It's pretty Star Warsy to me.
I have a bad feeling about this.
No feelings were harmed in the filming of this scene.
It's not about the mission, Master. It's something elsewhere. Don't center on your anxieties, everyone.
All we've ever really seen of the Master-Padawan relationship was Yoda and Luke and a little Obi-Wan and Luke, but nothing ever like this. Going back in history obviously affords lots of opportunities like this to see things we only ever heard anyone talk about in the original trilogy, and that's pretty great.
But Master Yoda said I should be mindful of the future, not of the excess of the moment. Be mindful of the living force, young Padawan.
We're also introduced to our two main characters, though the Phantom Menace is mostly Qui-Gon's film. It's a quick glance at the experienced master that has learned to push the letter of the Jedi law to do what he thinks is right, compassionate, and moral, while Obi-Wan's a little bit of a stickler as a Padawan still learning how the world and the Force works, arrogantly quoting Yoda but then knowing when he's been put in his place by his wiser master.
Yes, Master. The blockade is finished. We dare not go against the Jedi.
We've also never experienced a culture that recognizes that the Jedi should be feared as they're one of the most powerful forces in the universe.
Sorry about that, guys.
With all the different plot threads to keep track of, I really appreciated that they're pretty upfront about who Darth Sidious actually is. Also, they got the original actor Ian McDiarmid to reprise his role as a younger Emperor. Was it just dumb luck that they cast him at 40 to play a 100-year-old looking Sith and Jedi?
Dang.
He's amazing now as he was then, and the Emperor-to-be is one of the most formidable villains ever created, having his hands in almost everything. Whoa.
And people are saying that the prequels were all about CGI. If anyone besides me has seen all the CinemaWins, everything great about Star Wars episodes 1 through 6, you will learn that the CGI in this was supposed to make the worlds feel more lively. Listen.
Let's watch that again. I thought everything in these prequels was CGI. That's a practical explosion if I've ever seen one.
He said practical. Practical. Miniatures still, but practical. Let's listen.
Formidable villains ever created, having his hands in almost everything. Whoa. Let's watch that again. I thought everything in these prequels was CGI. That's a practical explosion if I've ever seen one. Miniature still, but practical. And now we get to see the Jedi prove their power and speed like never before, only 6 minutes in. Alright, maybe this movie isn't all boring trade disputes. And it's sort of a switch on the typical trope that our heroes are actually the invincible, unstoppable force against the bumbling droids.
Let's split up. Stow aboard separate ships and move down on the planet.
I'm going to try to avoid referencing or arguing with Red Letter Media's Phantom Menace review because it's really long and it was mostly done for comedy. And as much as I love it as entertainment, a lot of it is deliberately ignorant for comedy's sake. Every once in a while, a clip from it pops into.
How did the droids actually, let's see here, bend down to where they can be put in those transporters? And that reminds me, I better check and see if my trailer reaction, my shocking trailer reaction for the Halloween thing got caught. Well, it doesn't look like it did. And I don't get why the dark side constantly needs to get more and more. Let's see here. What's the word I'm looking for? Oh yeah, apprentices. It's because they're gonna lose them. I know that much. Forgive me, guys. I'm just waking up. If I had done this all earlier, I would be knocked out cold. I would be asleep by now. No, don't open Google Documents. Wait, yeah, open it for a sec. Happy birthday by Atlantic Plant.
My head. I remember him being really upset that they went on separate ships, but that's actually a smart move. It splits the odds of both of them getting caught in half, or doubles the odds of one of them having success. I feel like this makes me racist, but I cannot tell the difference between Keira Knightley and Natalie Portman when they're in the green makeup. Maybe I have that face blindness disorder. Anyway, that was the point. And fun fact, Keira Knightley is a household name thanks mostly, not entirely, but mostly
Yeah, Natalie Portman, she's hard to tell the difference between.
Again, no huge secret, but I love that little distortion in the hologram that gives the Emperor his signature raspy growl. So isn't this movie supposed to be slow and boring? 10 minutes in and the main conflict has basically began. The Federation is sending their army down to Naboo, revealing their true intentions. And then there was Jar Jar. I'm not convinced Qui-Gon was actually trying to save him rather than just falling down and saving himself. Still, saving the guy who everyone will point to as the biggest issue with the prequels, even though he was supposed to.
Hey, it's true, Jar Jar kind of started the prequel problem. But the worlds, oh my god.
And the design inside the city is unique and interesting. Water force field.
How did they even do a water force field?
On Netflix. Jedi mind tricks are used throughout the franchise, but Qui-Gon is one who continually uses them when the ethical implications are a bit murky. But that's just strong character development. He's more about the spirit of right and wrong. He's willing to push the line for the greater good, which in this case is warning the Naboo of an impending invasion.
You and Naboo form a symbiotic circle. What happens to one of you will affect the other. You must understand this.
And if you think Obi-Wan is doing the same thing, this happens later.
Begin searching the swamps for these rumored underwater villages.
So he was telling the truth.
I saved his life. Owes me what you call a lifetime.
And we also get one more of Qui-Gon's most important traits: passion. Passion that Obi-Wan lacks at this stage in his life. Sure.
I actually talked to one of my friends about. Okay, Jamie, look at it. Oh, Nick Castle is gonna be playing as Michael Myers. Judy Greer or something. Okay, these are the cast that are gonna be playing for the remake for the 2018 Halloween. Please tell me Dr. Loomis is in there. James G. Courtney also is Michael Myers. Hawkins, Karen Strode, Laurie Strode. But yeah, guys, doesn't this mask actually look a lot like the... I don't know, it looks like this mask has already been through hell before. It's said that John Carpenter won't be involved. It is really sad that John Carpenter's music is about the only thing that remains of him, and that he's executive producer of this film. Wow, you guys have really started liking my videos. I'm glad that you guys are starting to like my videos. If you want after each video is done, you can always like leave a question or there for Godzilla and Mothra. I got a copyright notice just to know if any of my videos got claimed or not. Let's just continue because I can tell we're going to be here for a while.
Arrow decided to intervene. It's also Anakin shadowing. Is that a giant shrimp? Remember that thing I said about whales? Yeah, heebie-jeebies apply. In fact, that thing is much, much, much worse. More Super Jedi skills and rescuing the princess.
This part always got me because it sounds like the George is saying, "Oh," like they're actually being hit by a real human.
But he saw a life in peril and decided to intervene. There's also Anakin shadowing. Is that a giant shrimp?
Oh yeah.
Remember that thing I said about whales? Heebie-jeebies apply. In fact, that thing is much, much, much worse.
I don't know why that always got me. That got me as a kid thinking, they're machines. They should not feel pain. But somehow these droids do. And I love it. Alright, YouTube, calm down. Batra and Biolancy plant.
More Super Jedi skills and rescuing the princess. Look at this guy.
That sounded like a Mario line there for me. Rescuing the princess.
Mustache and code G. Sure, I'm a diplomat, but that doesn't mean I can't have a party on my face.
Oh, wait till you're under arrest.
Come on.
That was a funny line I got from the droid. Oh, wait till you're under arrest.
Someone's gotta do it. Hey, the droid did it! R2-D2 to the rescue!
Yeah, Master. Tatooine. It's small out of the way, poor.
Ewan McGregor's voice is so
Yeah.
silky. And he brings me to something a lot of people seem to forget about the original trilogy. Coincidences, or in Star Wars, the Force constantly puts people places and brings characters together in ways that seem ridiculous. But it's a large part of the mythos. Consider that Leia put a message in a droid that was found by her long-lost twin brother on a random desert planet. Just saying.
This is my apprentice, Darth Maul.
Yep, that is all. I've always loved this Peter shiny Naboo cruiser. What can I say? It calms me.
Oyster Farms.
Just like Uncle Owen. Again, I'm seeing people in costume, not CGI dinosaurs blocking the frame. Were we lied to? Or is it just environmental establishing shots?
Are you an angel?
And the sparks of love are sparked. Or lit.
Okay, I'm literally thinking the prequels were not all about CGI. And for those people who did say it was all about CGI, if you have not seen Everything Great About Star Wars 1 through 3 by CinemaWins, watch them. Because I will leave links down in the description below to the original videos.
I don't know, I can tell them up the first
The most beautiful
Wow.
creatures in the universe.
Also compliments.
I don't fully understand.
Anakin's hitting on Padme and complimenting her at the same
Star Wars has
time.
always been about exploring new worlds and seeking out new light. Mad Max called, it wants its filthy character back. Wait, is that Maz Kanata?
Or to teach you. Hopefully, to meet you.
See, this is the right amount of ridiculous for Star Wars. C-3PO and R2-D2 meeting with a little classic banter.
My parts are showing. My
Say what you will about the overuse of CGI environments. Coruscant from space and then in the atmosphere is really astonishing. You've gotta love seeing the detailed cities from above like this.
Master Jedi reflexes of your smart.
Never noticed that
Don't
instantaneous
do that
Jedi reflexes
again.
demonstration.
I actually saved the pod. Mostly.
Optimism. Watto may be a glaring example of CGI at the top of its 1999 game, but he's at least a new type of character. Small, flying, with a gonzo nose. Dude, is that Greedo?
I find that jump on creature together.
Oh, and coming from 3PO, that's saying something.
Master Yoda doesn't have a midi-chlorian cut that high.
Oh, the midi-chlorians. Even I despaired.
I actually did hate the part about the midi-chlorians.
Them in my episode 7 video, but it's just an easy way of communicating that Anakin has some Force strength. And it's been established that Force power is genetic since the Force is strong in the Skywalker family. So what?
It's only relatable to the Skywalker family. So does that mean Rey is part of the Skywalker family?
The difference, really. Hey, Twi'lek slave girls aren't getting eaten by a Rancor in this scene. The best part of the negotiations is that Watto claims,
Mind tricks don't work on me.
yet Qui-Gon has been playing him almost from the beginning without Jedi mind tricks using basic negotiating skills, like asking for more than you actually want and convincing the other party that they're getting the better deal.
They would never get me onto one of those dreadful starships.
Seems legit. What is going on here? This is another miniature set, and a crazy detailed one as well. Who secretly put all this work into this film? Goldberg? Greedo's dad?
And the Force will be there.
And that is a fun
Comes up
part.
subtly a few times, but I do love to hear John Williams' classic Luke Force theme score a few times when talking about Annie. Jabba has some serious employee loyalty. Again, exactly the right amount of awesome we've come to expect from Star Wars sound design. And you have to really stick to your prequel hate to not enjoy the pod racing. Intense, exciting, some awesome first-person cinematography, the effects are off the charts, and the pod racing is Star Wars. You've got to at least admit that. Just a really well-shot, directed sequence. We made it to the movie! Yes! Ingenuity and
Fight
well
me,
under
Sam
pressure.
people.
We're also getting to see a lot more of Luke's home planet, which is some behind the curtain kind of fun. Got hugging, and we get our first brief lightsaber duel, giving us a taste of what's to come. Over an hour in, and just a quick showcase of Ray Park's abilities, which are extensive. Star Wars does villains right.
I made this for you.
Generosity. I know at some point we hit that saturation point of CGI that becomes.
I just got a notification that Watch Mojo is now doing your movies live quiz. Hey, you know what, guys? I'm just gonna do part 1, okay? I'm not even gonna waste my time doing parts 2 through 6. Because I don't know, I've got another 9 minutes and 4 seconds.
Mind-numbing. I'm just not sure when it happens. So far, it's been used to enhance and liven the world. Coruscant is
One big city.
so I'd say this is exactly the kind of traffic we should expect. And again, another amazing space view of the planet. Checking on your buddies. So you guys you're staying. Okay.
My baseless accusations.
I wonder who's been making those baseless accusations. The nuance of Palpatine's plan is layered. Hints throughout that he actually does more behind the scenes with influence than as a senator, securing his seat as Supreme Chancellor, all while begrudgingly accepting the position.
The Sith have been extinct for a millennium.
And here's the one thing I don't understand, and I continue to hate to this day, that the Jedi Council, who were supposed to be the smartest people in the Star Wars universe, have such a massive ego in thinking, oh, the Sith are never going to come back, when they already are in episode 1. And I don't mean 4, guys. I mean the real episode 1, Phantom Menace.
I do not believe the Sith could have returned without us knowing.
This should be clear. This is very important. The first few lines from the Jedi Council, supposedly the wisest group of people in the galaxy, have become so overconfident and bloated that they're insulted at the notion that they didn't see the return of the Sith, instead of, trying to figure out what they were doing wrong and how they missed it.
And with a vote of no confidence in Chancellor Valorum's leadership.
Well, of course, the ET planet is going to support that. Bunch of fascists.
Do not defy the council, master. Not again.
I shall do what I must, Obi-Wan.
If you would just follow the code, you will be on the council.
Exactly the reason Qui-Gon is not on the council, because he sees the problems. Also, how about that sunset?
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
That line has been challenged as nonsense, but it's exactly Anakin's path. Fear of losing his mother led to hate of the Tusken Raiders, led to them and him suffering, though mostly them.
Obi-Wan Obi-Wan is ready.
I am ready to face the trials.
This may have been Qui-Gon's one real misstep. Obi-Wan still has a lot to learn from Qui-Gon, and he doesn't really learn it until after he's dead. But Qui-Gon recognizes the importance of Anakin, so again, he's willing to twist the truth a tad.
They continually speak to us, telling us the will of the Force.
Further solidifying that midichlorians are not the Force.
And those two control the pitch.
You catch him?
Wow, little kid knows more about a control console than the pilot that's driving the ship.
Pretty quick. Short cockpit lesson and affirmation that he's a quick study validates Annie's ability to fly later. No Gary Stews here.
I'm turning this down.
It's John Williams here. Remember when you thought that there was nothing left to add to the amazing Star Wars theme I already composed? Don't you feel silly now? And badass bad guy with a badass weapon. Say what you will about lack of emotion and flashover substance. The first real lightsaber duel in the prequel trilogy blew my mind. Beautiful choreography that's shown off with very little quick cutting. The first double laser staff style lightsaber, and it expands the trend of lightsaber battles traveling.
I'm trying to keep the volume minimized so we don't get copyright claim for the John Williams music.
Just an implied history of fighting.
I love the John Williams music in the fighting scenes, though. In the lightsaber fighting scenes in the prequel trilogies, I do.
Although the least compelling was probably Padme trying to get to the throne room and have the shortest clips and move the story along. One other nitpick from Plinkett is something I actually agreed with up until this viewing. He compares Luke and Vader's fight in Return of the Jedi with Obi-Wan and Maul's fight after Qui-Gon is killed. The issue being Luke loses it on Vader while Obi-Wan goes back to pretty choreographed fighting. Two things. First, Vader was all but done. He was wiped out, so it didn't take much skill for Luke to hammer him. Maul, on the other hand, has been resting, waiting for Obi-Wan to come through the force field, taunting him. Had this been an R-rated movie, he probably would have mutilated Qui-Gon's corpse to further enrage Obi-Wan so that Obi-Wan would lose it. Because you know what happens to people who fight angry against skilled fighters and control their emotions? They lose. Number two is that the entire point of that scene in Jedi was Luke slipping to the dark side. He was a fairly new, albeit powerful Jedi who had had very little training. Thank goodness Obi-Wan had training to fall back on to stay calm and fight, or he would be dead. While it totally doesn't take away from the final battle in The Force Awakens, I believe there is still a place for this type of fighting. This was a time when Jedi were prevalent, constantly using their sabers. So the Sith would obviously need to train to compete. And what looks choreographed to us is really just the Jedi and Sith predicting each other's moves using the Force. These are warriors at the top of their game. Another practical explosion? Who does Lucas think he is, not just using CGI? I'm sure you're going to harp on this, but this is my one complaint. I know he comes back in some non-canon stuff, but we've got some...
I do actually feel like it is canon when you add the animated Star Wars, the Clone Wars, during the Star Wars films, okay, guys? Because, let's see, the one that appeared on Cartoon Network before, the real one that we see Anakin get a Padawan learner, that series, the one where he's still a Padawan, kind of like a knight slash Padawan, that series, I actually do think is kind of canon because in episode 3 of the prequel trilogy, we don't get no explanation for why Grievous is coughing. But we learn that basically in that anime, not the one that came where Anakin got a Padawan. No, not that one. The other one. That series is where Mace Windu did this and did that to Grievous's breathing.
little of Darth Maul, and he kind of went out like a moron. Still glad Obi-Wan got to avenge Qui-Gon, though.
Nevertheless, grave danger I feared in his training.
Loving that little Vader musical cue in the background. Peace. The year was 1999. I was 14 years old, and everyone around me was losing their minds over something called Star Wars. I knew it existed, and I knew the Empire twist because I had seen Tommy Boy. My sister-in-law let me borrow her VHS trilogy, and my life was never the same. Typical story. I've forgiven my parents for keeping the Wars Among the Stars away from me for 14 years and taking me to see the movie in theaters made up for it. Or did I go with my grandmother? I mean, my friends, all my friends and my girlfriend. Anyway, the point of that embarrassing anecdote is that it brings me to my first Star Wars theater experience. I never read any reviews, and movie flopping at the box office because of viral Twitter hate didn't really exist yet. It wasn't until much later that I learned that I was not allowed to like The Phantom Menace. Because I freaking loved it, and diving into it like this only made me love it more. Now, I understand the problems. Although if you're staking your hatred for the prequels on the red letter media critiques, please understand that those are as much for entertainment value as they are scathing. The hardest thing to argue with is the plot being a little convoluted, and maybe trade tax isn't the best impetus for your Star Wars fantasy story. The Phantom Menace wasn't sure what it wanted to be, and maybe the political mumbo-jumbo could have been trimmed back. Something else that comes up is whether taxing trade routes is really enough to go to war over. Number one,
it's not.
You have to ask you weren't paying attention to U.S. history. And whether or not the blockade was currently affecting Naboo, you can imagine would rile some people up and frighten even more. Number two was all an illusion set up by Palpatine, so number one is moot. But it's still actually all fleshed out. The Trade Federation was getting taxed on their trade routes, so they set up a blockade as protest. But all you need to know is this: greedy, evil businessmen picking on little guy. But none of that even matters to me. My rule is and always has been, did it entertain me? And the answer is yes. It's always been yes. Every couple years I watch the entire saga, and I don't skip any of the prequels. Ultimately, the choice of story thread for the prequels was a bold move on Lucas's part. The original trilogy is about a seeming nobody's rise through the ranks of a rebellion as a true underdog, while the prequel trilogy is about the fall of democracy, rise of an empire, and creation of an anti-hero. It's easy to relate to Luke. It's easy to empathize with the last remaining Jedi and the rebels trying to overthrow pure evil. It's harder to connect with the blind council of wise men that can't see the writing on the wall and allowed themselves to be corrupted from within. As much as Yoda was an exception, he also missed it. As I already said, Qui-Gon is our main character in Phantom Menace. Should it have been Obi-Wan? Maybe. I feel I need to point out that Qui-Gon is about as Jedi as you can be. Long, flowing locks, constant stoic look on his face. Everyone always talks about Ewan McGregor, and don't get me wrong,
Ewan McGregor is a great Obi-Wan. I will not deny that.
Qui-Gon is one of the last Jedi to really understand the Force and refuses to join the Council because he sees the problems in complacency. In a sense, Qui-Gon is everything the Jedi Council should be, and Obi-Wan is everything that's wrong with that. In this film, Obi-Wan grows a bit. Unfortunately, it's only enough to take Annie on as a Padawan when he still ultimately disagrees with his master. Going forward, I'll be talking about the many ways that Obi-Wan did fail Anakin, where Qui-Gon may have not. Had someone other than Palpatine allowed Annie to indulge his urges. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's hard to not talk about the entire trilogy when defending the prequels because they actually tell a coherent story. Each protagonist is given an arc. Whether you like them or not, or whether they entertain you, is up to each of you. One other thing I wanted to touch on was the theory that Jar Jar was actually Lucas's choice for the Sith Master. There is quite a bit of evidence for it, but Lucas is yet to confirm it. He mouths people's lines occasionally as if he's controlling them.
Queen wishes.
Waves his hands around when good things are happening to him, as Jedi do when they're mind-tricking people. The most compelling is that he seems to actually manipulate Padme into making a treaty with the Gungans. It's a fun theory, and if it's true, I'm sad that the world shamed Lucas into cutting Jar Jar back. It's astonishing to me how easy it is for people to jump on George Lucas for ruining Star Wars. Star Wars. His creation. Without Lucas, we wouldn't have Star Wars.
Sorry about that, guys.
We don't own Star Wars. Well, neither does he anymore, but that's because we all told him he sucked. The man created Star Wars. Just for a second. Put yourself in his shoes and try to remember that he's a human being and try to understand the pressure of following up the cultural phenomenon you created 16 years later. And you know what? Since he created it, if he wanted the Phantom Menace to be stick figures fighting with blue blobs with racist poetry flashing on the screen or just 2 hours of different angles of his face, he has that right. I don't know. The hate this film gets is undeserved. Let's see how next week goes. When I do Red Tails. Science!
And here's the total win count. 109. "30-year-old second fair." But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction to part 1. Later I might do, maybe tomorrow I might do a part 2. Or I might try and do the rest of them later today. I don't know, maybe I might delete this video. You guys let me know should I delete this video or not in the chat or in the comments below. As always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.